fact, I'll put the lid back on my zinc granules in case they spill over. Put them back in the rack. Now I'll shake that up. Now, bubbles have been given off. Now apparently, according to the text, when you add a piece of zinc, and it says warm it gently. Now, my little burner here didn't work very well, so I'll just, I'll try. I wonder if this thing will hold this. It will hold this test tube. I'll pop that in there for a minute. See if I can get this to work. Light my... Oh, gosh, I spilled some. That's where the cloth comes in. If you spill any, we'll try and mop it up. Now it says warm gently. So I'll just warm it gently over this flame. Now I can see the zinc granules have settled to the bottom now. It tells you to warm it gently. So I'm trying to do that. Now, it says that hydrogen bubbles are given off. I can feel it bubbling now. Away it goes. Warm it gently. And it's certainly bubbling. Now, I've not got a lot left in there. And maybe I heated it too fast. But it says that zinc granules should dissolve and hydrogen gas given off. Now, I have no way of testing to see whether that was hydrogen gas given off there, but to me that still looks as if it's not dissolved that. Now the other thing it says it dissolves is aluminium. So just for fun, I've got in here, all mixed in my butter as well, which is a nuisance, some little bits, all mixed in my butter, which melted on me. Is some little bits of aluminium foil. I'll try putting them onto my tissue here to dry the butter off. It's fun when experiments go wrong. Now I'll put them into there, some aluminium balls. It's just aluminium foil. Now this isn't a particularly strong solution, and that may well be why it's not working so well. But it does say that it'll dissolve aluminium. Now, whether you have to have it's a hot solution in there. Now I can't see that those are bubbling or dissolving. Now it says it's the reason for this is that our sodium hydroxide is not to be used when you're cleaning aluminium pans and things, because it will melt them. Now for some reason which I don't understand, and this sometimes happens with chemistry, and I'll leave it up in this video, I won't do it again for a while anyway, because it's interesting, even though it doesn't work, to show it, and to show it doesn't work, and then maybe try again and see what went wrong. And if you find out, then you can always change the video up and do another one. So I'll leave it in this video as a failure, although very interesting. Now that hasn't worked. Now have I got another test tube in this here? There's another test I want to do. Yes, I have. I've got another test tube. Now another test I want to do, which again I've never tried this, so I don't know that it's going to work, is to have some hydroxide again, put it in a test tube. Now it says add a little piece of wool. Now I've got this little bit of wool here. Now unfortunately I put it in that tin and there was butter in there and it's got all covered in butter, so I don't know if that'll make any difference, but I'm going to drop this wool in and I'm going to see if anything at all happens. Now obviously it's got wool, it's got butter in there as well, so it may not actually work, but it says that if you put wool in sodium hydroxide it'll dissolve. Now I've got some sodium hydroxide, I've added what I believe to be wool. I mean, I'm not sure it's wool, it might be some man-made fibre that looks like wool, and that's the whole point. I'm testing. Now it does say that if it is wool it will dissolve. Now I'm looking in there to see whether anything's happening. And I'm not at all sure whether that piece of wool could be said to be dissolving. It's certainly getting wet, but I wouldn't say that it's dissolving, or if it is, it's not dissolving very quick. Now the other thing it does tell you to test is, I'll just leave that on my book there, is to test cotton. Now I've got a bit of cotton. Now the thing about this is, it tells you to test cotton, but I put the cotton in there now. But the thing about it is, it tells you that it doesn't dissolve cotton. So in theory nothing should happen, so it shouldn't surprise me that when I put my cotton in, nothing's actually happening. Now why it tells you, so it's a test. If you've got something that you think's cotton and you're not sure, put it in a bit of hydroxide, and if it doesn't dissolve then you probably have got cotton. If you have got wool then it will dissolve. Now unfortunately neither of my samples here have dissolved, so there's two possibilities. Either they're both cotton and this piece of what I thought was wool isn't wool, because it certainly hasn't dissolved. I don't know whether the butter's made any difference, but that should have dissolved in my hydroxide. So maybe it's not wool. That's a possibility. That isn't wool at all. Now I haven't got any cotton wool here, unfortunately. At least I don't think so. Let me just check. No, I thought I might have a little bit of cotton wool in my cupboard there, but I don't seem to have. Now I don't want this video to go on too long, so before we close, we just want to look and see what's happened in our little dish here, which hopefully is cooled down. Now I was supposed to put lard in, as I said. I put butter in because I didn't have anything else. And I did notice that when I put the butter into the solution, it did form a little floating liquid. Now, what should have happened in this experiment is we should have had floating on the top of this liquid a sort of a skin. And it says that that skin is hard enough that you can pick it off and form it into a little bar, a little block. Now I've got stuff floating on the top that looks like oil, but it's certainly not forming into a skin. Now this may be because I didn't use lard, and maybe butter doesn't work the same. I mean, lard and butter, lard comes from pig fat, I think, and lard is made from milk. Butter is made from milk from a cow. So it may be that I just didn't mix the right stuff. Now I might try this again after this video is finished, but I haven't got any lard, so I can't try that because my wife doesn't use lard in the kitchen, so we don't have it. And I don't know whether I'm going to buy a big block of lard just to do this little experiment. But looking at that, it looks as if that's failed as well, because it hasn't really formed what I would call a skin on top that you can pick off. Now, I don't think anyway there's anything in the bottom either. No, I certainly can't see anything on the bottom. So unfortunately, this little video has been not very terribly successful. Our liquid here has settled back out and it's blue on the bottom when it should be black. I'm not quite sure why that didn't turn. To get our copper oxide, that's gone to the bottom and it's white, so I don't know whether that's actually worked. So we haven't been terribly successful, but I might put this up as a video just to show you that not always things work out right, and it's made an interesting video, so I might put it up. So anyway, there's a white participant in the bottom of that one. But anyway, this is Grandad saying sorry for the failures, and I'll see you next time. But remember, keep safe, and I hope that this video runs to the end when I go to put it up on YouTube, because I haven't had a lot of luck. Anyway, that's all for me today. Bye bye now. Bye bye.